Welcome to Lumberjacking with Neil. Lumberjack tip number 1. So you might think when a lumberjack gets up in the morning, he's got to eat a healthy, protein-filled meal before he comes out and starts chopping wood. Well, you're wrong. He actually comes out and starts chopping wood, and the little pieces that break off are his breakfast. I'm going to be chopping this piece of pine. This pile behind me is mostly pine. There's some birch there too, but for some reason it gives off a very apple odor, which is really nice when you're chopping it. If it ever splashes the sap at you, it's like apple juice in my face. What I want to go over is, like, normally people chop wood like this. They'll stand it up, right? And if it's like a whole log, they're going to come at it from the top. And that'll work for a small piece like this, but if you got a whole log, that's going to take forever. And especially if you've got a big piece like this, which is like 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet in diameter the other way, you're never going to split it if you're coming at it straight on like this. So what you do is you set it on its side like this, and you put something under it just so that it's sitting up on an angle, and then you want to actually strike it right here. And you'd be surprised at how fast a split forms down from top to bottom and cracks it open. It might take a few swings, but I'll show you how it goes. All the way up and down here. Lumberjack tip number 2. Why spend money on a gym membership when you can just chop wood and then curl logs? Oh, she's a big girl. That's pretty much it. Like, you'd never do that if you were just coming at it from the top, but now it just peels right open. Pretty magical. What I like to do sometimes is visualize something that makes me angry, and then as I swing, especially if I know it's gonna break on that last swing, helps me to get my stress out. So right now I'm gonna think about Justin Trudeau and the economy. See, the reason I didn't split that in half that time was because I wasn't giving it my all. I didn't think I'm gonna finish this piece of wood off. I was just kind of being a pacifist. You want to be more like Jesus. I guess I'm not a very good Christian. You can actually gauge how on your side the Holy Spirit is by how easy it is to chop your wood. If it takes a while, you got some trouble. Well, see, this is going to be a pain because right here we have a knot where the branch was, and that's what's called fat wood. So when a tree dies, all the branches are like this, right? Praise the Lord. But then when they die, all the sap that's in the branches runs back down to the stump, and it gathers right at the stump. And so right here, there's like a bunch of sappy stuff, and that's actually flammable. That's where they get, I can't remember the name. It's like a chemical that's really flammable, but they get that from tree sap. Lumberjack tip number 3. As a lumberjack and a loving father, I question, why spend a lot of money on expensive toys for my boy when I can just build him a tower out of logs and he can play with them and get splinters like a real man? Ow! One of the special techniques I like to employ is called the charge up. It's like when you hold B and you're playing Fortnite. Close my eyes and just wait.
Yeah, no kidding, that does totally smell like apples.
Makes me feel like a man when I can chop it and then rip it in half on my chest. Lumberjack tip number 4. When you're chopping wood, you want to have a sturdy cutting block. What that looks like is something like this that has lots of branches and projections coming off of it, because that means it's a really knotted up piece of wood and it's not going to split easily as you cut down with full force on top of it. Lumberjack tip number 5. Thanks for joining me on this week's installment of Lumberjacking with Neil. I hope you learned something, and until next time, swing low. Lumberjack tip number 3. Okay, I can do this. My final and most crucial piece of advice for you, future lumberjackers. Lumberjackers. Sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
Careful. I'm a grown man. Oh, thanks for joining me on. I'm gonna invent game face on. Too happy. So you might think when a lumberjack gets up. That didn't work. So today we're gonna be chopping. We're gonna be chopping this piece of pine. It has like a really potent smell. We're gonna let Ernest give it the sniff test.